I'll be reciting an excerpt from Dr. Martin Luther King's last speech that he gave on the eve of his assassination in Memphis, Tennessee. And we just went on before the dogs, and we would look at them. And we just go on before the fire hoses, and we would look at it. And we just go on singing, over my head, I see freedom in the air. And then we'd be thrown in the paddy wagons, and sometimes we'd be stacked in there like sardines in a can. An old bull would say, take them off. And they did, and we just go on in the paddy wagon singing, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. And every now and then we'd get in the jail and we'd see the jailers looking through the windows, being moved by our prayers and being moved by our words and our songs. And there was a certain power there that Bull Connor couldn't adjust to. So we ended up turning Bull into a steer, and we won our struggle in Birmingham. Now we've got to go on in Memphis just like that. And we have an injunction. And we're going into court tomorrow morning to fight this illegal, unconstitutional injunction. All we say to America is, be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China, or even Russia, or any other totalitarian country, maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they hadn't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights. So just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. We are going on, and we need all of you. So let us rise up tonight with a greater readiness. Let us stand with a greater determination. Let us move on in these powerful days, these days of challenge, to make America what it ought to be. We have an opportunity to make America a better nation. And I want to thank God once more for allowing me to be here with you. They were telling me, now it doesn't matter now. I left Atlanta this morning, and as we got started on the plane, there were 6 of us. And the pilot said over the public address, we are sorry for the delay, but we have Dr. Martin Luther King on the plane. And to be sure all the bags were checked. And to be sure that nothing would be wrong with the plane, we had to check out everything carefully. And we've had the plane protected and guarded all night. Then I got into Memphis, and some began to say the threats, or talk about the threats that were out. What would happen to me from some of our sick white brothers? Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. And I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I want you to know tonight that I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get to the promised land. And so I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you, dear brother Marquan Martin, for that powerful testimony.